The causes can be almost anything that we deem worthy or there's an important need in the community.
Nonprofits doing social services work in underserved parts of Flagler County are getting a financial shot in the arm thanks to Flagler County Medical Director Dr. Stephen Bickle.
This particular cycle, we had some priorities in terms of what areas we wanted to focus on. Mental health is a big one, but food insecurity with, inflation and all these issues people are facing this year.
Bickle has endowed Flagler Cares in Palm Coast with $10 million over 10 years, totaling $1 million per year. The first $800,000 in so-called catalyst grants have been dispersed. Bickle details the largest grant, $750,000 over 3 years, which went to a well-known nonprofit.
It's a substantial grant to get a program that's going and then stabilized that then goes on its own. And that was the one to Easter Seals for the adolescent mental health program, which we thought was a big need in the community.
The other two grants, each for $25,000, went to two organizations.
In one case, it allowed this organization, Salty Family Services, to set up a satellite presence in Flagler County to do what they're already doing in Ormond and Volusia area, counseling people in financial straits. And then the other one was for Grace Community Food Pantry. It's just been doling out food for many years to thousands of people, and they needed a truck to expand their services and store food and just up their level of activity.
Bickle's endowment is the largest of its kind received by Flagler Cares. This local news is a service of Flagler County's Toyota dealer, Beaver Toyota US 1 St. Augustine, here to wow you. Flagler County Sheriff's deputies and the SWAT team have shut down a suspected drug house.
This week, the Flagler County Sheriff's Office, SWAT Team, Special Investigations Unit, and Sheriff Rick Staley raided a housing compound in the Daytona North area, also known as the Mondex. FCSO, Special Weapons and Tactics Unit, and SIU served a search warrant at 5941 Ironwood Avenue, taking 35-year-old Angel Farmer in custody. Flagler County Sheriff Rick Staley.
We have served a number of search warrants going after poison peddlers, and this one was no different. We woke them up with flashbangs in their compound that was absolutely deplorable living conditions, seizing fentanyl, methamphetamine, and other drugs.
Farmer was previously arrested in April for knowingly driving with a suspended license and in January on 7 different drug charges. Her criminal history dates to 2010 and includes over a dozen felony and misdemeanor charges. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Karen Johnson.
Members of Flagler County Fire Rescue are deployed to help Hurricane Ian recovery efforts in Fort Myers Beach.
Community paramedic Robert Arrett is part of the department's strike team helping first responders there recover.
We received assistance from across the state from other areas that weren't impacted. So it's very important for us to show the same support to other areas of the state as needed, just in order to be able to give all the first responders that are in the seriously impacted areas a little bit of a break and a little bit of a respite so they can actually return and be fresh for when the crews start going home.
Fire Chief Michael Tucker says it is an honor to help out.
The community of first responders, whether it be police, fire, and EMS, we're all a family. And so when one is impacted, it impacts all of us. So the ability to step in the gap and to support them in their time of need is huge. It's rewarding to know that you're able to help somebody else in need, even when it's one of your own brothers or sisters.
Tucker says his crews will be returning next Tuesday. For Flagler's Morning News, I'm Rich Petchke.
Unless I have a student in there or a staff member, I'm never in my office.
Being visible in school is important to Flagler Palm Coast High School Principal Bobby Bosserdet. He tells WNZF more about his leadership style.
It's very important to me. It's one of my non-negotiables to be at your doors greeting kids. You can find me in between Pride Park to the cafeteria to the courtyard. But you're looking for body language. Your kids will tell you a lot with their body language first thing this morning. Our job is to be able to get out ahead of that. If somebody's struggling, assist anyway. You want to start the day off. You don't want to catch it too late. So visibility, relationships, connecting with your kids, they got to know who you are. They got to know who to go to when they need help. If you're sitting in your office all day and they don't know who the principal is, that's a problem.
Matanzas High School Principal Kristen Bozeman says student success boils down to relationships.
Our teachers, our paraprofessionals, our administrators build relationships with those students, and with 2,000 students, we each build those relationships with those kiddos, and the teachers might spot something, a counselor might spot something, and has that relationship with the student. Teenagers really recognize authenticity and really can peak when it's fake, and so they will open up, but they're not just going to open up to anybody. They'll open up to somebody they have the relationship with, and so the onus is on us as the school professionals, as the teachers, the leaders, to work on building those relationships with those students.
Halloween weekend is here, and there's plenty of family fun to be had in Flagler County. Stacy is with Fun for Augie Kids.
While there are over 150 events this weekend, tonight, First Baptist Christian Academy and the City of Bunnell will host the 2022 Trunk or Treat around Lake Lucille. So grab your costumes and enjoy the fun. Tomorrow, join Cut Up and Sew for their first annual Sew Spooky Shindig and Paranormal Potluck. This is a family-friendly event with trick-or-treating, costume contests, free demonstrations, giveaways, and more. Kids and adults will have the opportunity to make their very own trick-or-treating bag and take it home for free. Visit the Florida Agricultural Museum tomorrow for a wicked good time. Celebrate the season with old-fashioned games and activities, spooky train rides, food truck, animal visits, and ghostly tour guides. Costumes are encouraged. For more on these events and others, visit us on our website at AugieKids.com. Have a spooktacular weekend.
And now you're up to date on Flagler's Morning News. I'm Rich Carroll.